We're joined now by Congressman Adam Smith from Washington State. He's the top Democrat on the House Armed Services Committee. He has seen the video of the strike on survivors in early September. Congressman, this morning, Hegseth said the committee would get to view the full unedited video. Has the entire committee seen it? What have they seen?
We have not yet. Tomorrow morning, we are supposed to have a House Armed Services Committee briefing where the video will be shown and where the full committee will be briefed by Admiral Bradley and others from the Southern Command. But thus far, it's only been a small group of us who have seen the video. And let me emphasize, this should be released publicly. They have released, 15, 20 different videos of boat strikes to date. There is nothing classified or secret contained in the video that they could release to show this second strike on the two survivors from the first strike on September 2nd. It should be released publicly.
The Secretary of Defense says it should not. What do you say to his reasoning?
Well, first of all, his reasoning is kind of a bait and switch there and a little bit of a dodge. He said, we're not going to release the full video. Nobody is asking him to release the full video. The full video is like 5.5 hours long from the moment they start tracking this boat on September 2nd straight up through the second strike. No one's asking for that. They're asking to release the portion of the video that shows the second strike, just as he has released the portion of the video that shows the first strike. And second, it's a little bit dishonest to say, well, of course we're not going to release it. It's top secret information. No, it's not, and the Secretary has shown a certain willingness to release top secret information previously, of course, but in this case, it's not. It's a video, you see the two people on the boat, and then you see that boat blow up. It's no different than the other videos. There's no top secret information. There's nothing being placed at jeopardy here in terms of our national security interests. It's clear that Secretary Hegseth does not want to release this video because he knows how bad it's going to look and how it is going to undermine a lot of the dishonest things that he and other Republicans have said about what's on that video.
So you said Admiral Bradley is going to be briefing you all tomorrow. Can you talk to us a little bit about that, what you want to hear, what kind of opportunity this is for members to get answers?
Yeah, it's a good opportunity. I've already had two opportunities. I did a one-on-one classified meeting with Admiral Bradley, VTC meeting, not in person. And then we had the briefing where he came up and briefed the chairs and rankings on HASC and SASC. But I think we need to continue to pull at this. What exactly was the chain of command and what was the legal guidance given? So that's one big part of it for this particular strike. How does this not meet the classic definition of shipwrecked, where you're not supposed to attack the survivors of a shipwreck? So that's one. But two, the expanded theory that both Secretary Rubio and Secretary Hegseth pitched today to the full House briefing, where they didn't show the video, that basically once we designate you part of a narco-terrorist group, and if you are affiliated with that group, you are now a legitimate target of the United States military for lethal force, which is a dramatic expansion of presidential authority. To basically say, if you're part of a drug trafficking group, you're just like someone trying to fly a plane into a building in the United States, you're a legitimate target. I don't think we should expand that authority that far, particularly since Congress hasn't authorized any of this. And I think it is a real problem that the president is exercising this authority in general, but certainly without any congressional authorization.
As you mentioned, you spoke one-on-one with him. I think that was last week. So did you ask him? Sources have told CNN that he has told members of Congress he did talk to the JAG officer who was there at his disposal to give him advice and was told this was legal to do this second strike. I know there are many critics who believe that that advice, may have been incorrect. Did you talk to him about the legal advice that he got?
Absolutely.
What have you learned?
Yeah, yes, we did. And that's part of what we want here. We want to talk to those lawyers. The chairman of the committee, Mike Rogers, Republican, has even asked for that. The lawyers who gave that specific advice should also testify before us, and we should also have that conversation with them. And again, his explanation was that as designated, they were part of a designated terrorist organization, deemed an imminent threat to the United States. Mind you, these are people, with cocaine on a boat, a couple thousand miles away from the U.S., not even destined for the U.S. at this point. They were a legitimate target, and then even after the boat blew up, the argument was somehow they could have continued their mission and gotten the cocaine somewhere, which I don't find plausible based on the video that I saw, but that's what the legal advice was based on. We need to get into the chain of command, get into all the different lawyers. You gave them that advice based on what? What was your analysis? We need the opportunity to conduct oversight and question those conclusions to see how valid they are.
So I want to ask you about part of this new Vanity Fair piece that features White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, because she talks about the Venezuela strategy. She says that Trump, quote, wants to keep on blowing boats up until Maduro cries uncle, and people way smarter than me on that say that he will. What does that tell you about Trump's objective, and do you agree with it?
Well, therein lies a major problem. Because we just had the Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense, come before all of the United States House of Representatives and say this is about stopping the scourge of drug trafficking in the United States. They said this was about, they didn't say anything about Venezuela, anything about their intent there. And now we have the Chief of Staff of the White House basically, putting the lie to all of that and saying, no, this is about putting pressure on Maduro to affect regime change in Venezuela, again, without any congressional authority. But that's an entirely different mission. If you're trying to stop narcotics from coming into the U.S., you would have a much different approach. So, I mean, if they can't even be honest about why it is that they're blowing these boats up, as dramatic an action as that is, as I've said, major expansion of presidential power to kill people without congressional authorization in this way, they ought to at least be clear on why it is that they're doing it and what it is that they're hoping to accomplish in the action.
Congressman Adam Smith, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.